Hey guys, this is Derek from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and we're taking a look at an auction purchase of a 1992 Supra Twin Turbo R. And so this is the Mark III Supra, also known as the JZA70. The US never got the JZA70. Of course, they got this generation of the Supra. JZA denotes this engine, which is the 1JZ engine. And so this is an inline 6-cylinder, 2.5 liter twin turbo, 276 horsepower or 280 PS. Vehicle bought from auction for import to the USA, and then anything with that 1JZ engine, that means money for people in the USA, because that engine was never available in anything in the USA, and so now we can finally import them officially from the real cars that they came in, and so people are having a heyday for these vehicles. Now we do have special JDM wood here holding up the hood, because the hood doesn't hold itself up. And so I'm going to take that down in just a sec, but before we do that, the vehicle here has very low mileage, especially for a Supra, but the vehicle is a little bit weird here. So we have 45,710 kilometers on the car, but it has had a bunch of restorations recently right prior to importing it. My guess on this one is it's a car that was sitting for a very long time until somebody took the car, saved it, fixed some things up, and then sent it to auction. We don't see that very often here in Japan, and so it is kind of a weird thing. A lot of old cars just end up getting scrapped, and in fact, there's a very weird story about one of my customers who bought a Lancia Delta, 4 million yen car. That's a almost $40,000 car. Someone just threw out because they thought it was too old and worthless. The person, or the scrapyard they threw it out to, sold it at auction, and they got a free car and sold it for almost $40,000. Pretty crazy. So people in Japan don't really, a lot of the people who own old cars, they just don't know the value. So there's a good chance that whoever owned this just gave the car to the scrapyard, and that's what happened with this one. Okay, so story time aside, let's have a look. Oil looks to be okay, if a little bit low, but the coolant needs to be replaced. It's not strong enough and it looks old. Gonna lower the hood here, and we're going to do caber toss. Okay, hood dampers don't work. Close that hood. We'll take a look at the large coupe styling of the Mark III. Okay, and that's enough, and let's go over to the auction sheet. Now I'll come back to the body when we look it over for the inspection, but first off, this is the inspection sheet from the Japanese auction. I'm going to translate for you here. So it's a 1992 Supra. This one here is a wide body twin turbo R. So the twin turbo R is the name of the 1JZ engine version of it, and wide body is, this is the wide body. In the US, all of them are wide bodies, so you can get them, and I don't know, it's not that much difference. It's like 2 centimeters on either side wider in order to fit just some wider tires. And then the more powerful ones here in Japan, the 7M versions, which they did have here, and the 1JZ engine ones came wide body, and then the 1G engine ones came narrow body. Okay, so sales points: authentic 40,000 kilometer car, aftermarket exhaust, various other aftermarket parts on it. 2017 October, that's this month, restorations done to the car. And so there are some original parts that come in the car, and so check those ones. I did take them out. They're on the back of the BB over there. Okay, so driver's seat has had some sort of a repair to it. ICV has been replaced. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means there. Okay. Shift cover has been replaced. Various aftermarket parts. I could be reading this a little bit wrong. There's a couple of weird parts in here that I'm not familiar with, so if you're the owner of this car, we would have translated this properly with somebody who knows how to translate better than I do. Okay, the vehicle's had a full repaint, and I believe that this repaint was done in October because the body is very clean. The repaint was done fairly well, which is good, because a car that was repainted for the purpose of selling, especially at auction, they're not going to pay that much attention to the way that the repaint is done. But this one luckily looks like it was done really well, and it's hard to see because it's dark today, but this is actually a dark green paint, not actually black like it looks like. And in real life it looks very black too, but when the sun hits, it's going to have that green tinge to it. Kind of a cool looking paint if it's in good shape, which this one looks like it is. I got the retractable headlights up and the fog lights on there. Okay, so more report section here. Let's see what the inspector said. This one's easier to read because it's not written by some crazy seller. So the driver's seat has a 25 centimeter rip in it and has had a part covered as well. Interior is dirty. Dashboard part comes up and crack or tear. The shifter is shaky, and this is a weird one, but what it turns out to be is it has the aftermarket short shift kit in it, and it feels like it's missing one of the bolts in the short shift kit. So it's a little bit loose, but you can shift into all of the gears fine. It's just a little bit loose when you're in the gears, and really weird feeling. I personally don't like aftermarket short shift kits, and so I would have it taken out if this was my car. I especially love the Mark III's super shifting. You have to go almost like 40 centimeters with each shift, and it feels really good. All these new cars with their tiny little shifters, don't like it. I want a big, strong shifting. Yes. Okay, headrest is worn and has a hole. Same part of it that's damaged. And these seats, I think, might only be in the Japanese market version of this car, and I'll show you when we get in there. Aftermarket steering wheel, it's Momo 1 in good condition, and trunk room has a water leak. Now the funny thing about that, I couldn't find where it's leaking from. The gasket looks to be in good shape. There's no signs of rust around the gasket in anywhere that I can see, so I don't really know where it's leaking. Doesn't look like the back window is leaking either from what I can tell, so don't really know. Then various scratches and dents. Then the body is perfect. It only has very light, tiny, teeny little U1 dents in two places. Otherwise, it's a perfect looking body. So, we did have a bit of an interestingness when the car came in. Up until about 7 minutes ago, which is a minute before I started shooting this video, it was having some issues with idling properly. Now you can hear it's fluctuating in idle a little bit, and this is probably due to the same problem, but not very much. Right now it's going up and down about 50 RPM or so. It kind of sounds like a regular modified car that will commonly do something like that. But before, it was jumping from 2200 to 1000 RPM every once in a while. And that's really weird, and I don't know what it is. And if you're watching this on the YouTubes, then please let me know if you have ideas for what would make a car do that. It doesn't look like it's a serious problem, just a sensor or something. And oddly, the car came with some sort of a sensor or something, I don't know what it was, in a box in the back. And so maybe that's the piece that needs to be repaired. I'm not too sure. But it looks like it's going to be a simple fix. Okay. Front bumper's really good looking. It has something attached to the bottom of the front lip. And experts on this car, please tell me what's different about the JDM version of the car. This lip might be different, fog lights might be different, markers might be different. Things like that tend to be different between markets. I know for sure the US one isn't going to say 2.5 twin turbo right here. Okay, retractable headlights work. The body just looks really good, very shiny, very nice, and great. Original wheels, this is another part where I'm going to ask people who know about this car, are these wheels available in the US version? Plus they have 2017 tires, and I already gave a thumbs up for being the first car our company has exported with 2017 tires on it. Okay, tail lights. I think tail lights are exclusive to the 1JZ, but I'm not sure. The truth is, we don't see a lot of these in Japan, and I've been living here for almost 11 years now, so I don't remember what these look like back home. Okay, very noisy aftermarket exhaust. Good for the brum brums. And I did take this car for a drive, and other than the fluctuating RPM, it was very nice. Boosted really, really well. The clutch felt good. Steering is good. And I've driven, I guess, a few of these now. This is the best feeling one that I've driven. Although we have exported some really amazing ones as well, so ones I haven't driven. Okay, peeling black paint that has been black painted in the peeling paint parts. I guess it's not really black paint, it's like some vinyl cover here as well. And same thing on the other side. Doors are really weirdly shaped. They're very long but very narrow. Something you don't see in cars anymore. Very 90s Toyota switchgear on it. Speaker in the door there. And then here's dashboard. Seats here. These are not aftermarket seats. They look like them because you could buy seats like these from Recaro, but these were the ones that originally came in the car. They also matched the back seats. And so you can get these in Japan with the Recaro seats. Curious to know if you can get that in the US. I always feel a little bit naked when I'm shooting a car that's kind of like the US version or the international version, but I don't know what the differences are. And so I'm feeling naked today. At least I'm not looking naked though. Very good on that one. Okay, so here's the hole in the headrest that they were talking about. Here's the partially repaired but ripped seat. This style of Recaro seat is pretty prone to damage. And the good thing is they're fairly easy to find aftermarket. And I think you can find them in the same color, but maybe not. Toyota had a weird thing about using the same colors in their seats, like the confetti seats. Confetti Recaro seats are available for in the Celica. Okay, dashboard is cool. I really like this because you get gauges there, but the plastic extends all the way over there. So kind of a cool look there. The AC doesn't feel like it works. It's a cold day today, so I don't really know, but it's going to be something that needs addressing. Okay, the fake stitching that reminds me of my dad's 86 Celica. A little bit of deformation there on the dashboard. That's the part that they were saying it comes up. Okay, now I couldn't find the area where it says it was torn. If it is here, I could just be missing it. I did look it over, couldn't find it. Strange. And look at all the air vents you get here. Cool. Okay, look at this. Ta-da, never been smoked in. Smells nice inside the car, except for now because that exhaust smell is coming in. Tilt steering wheel and telescopic steering wheel. Aftermarket pedals there. Supra floor mats. And look at this, you can put coins in it. But not only that, you can put coins in it. It's like they had an extra space and they're like, what are we gonna do with this? And all they could think about was putting more coins in, more coin holder. Okay, this is climate control AC. And here's the shifter. That looks normal, but let me put it into gear. Here it's in gear, and see how short that was? In gear, out of gear. And then it still moves that much. Okay, retractable mirrors work properly, and CD and tape deck. Kind of weird to see it aftermarket tape deck, but yes, I guess that was put in 1993 or 1992 when this was a new car. Okay, into the trunk area. Pop, and infinitely adjustable. That's my favorite. You can adjust it just by millimeters if you need to. So you can always get the right angle. Okay, into the trunk here. The trunk damper actually works. Nice clamshell style back. Lots of area to put stuff in, like easy to put stuff in, but you don't get much room inside here. There's a catalytic converter cover there to make sure you're not starting lawn fires. And then oddly, the tires just kind of sticking out there. Kind of weird. Something like that probably wouldn't fly today. Unless it was like an Italian car or something, because they tend to do things their own way. This works. Doesn't look like there's water damage there, but it was raining quite heavily in the last few days, and so we have Mr. Puddles over here, and Miss Puddles is over here. Okay. I'm gonna close here. I'm going to close here. And we're going to say goodbye to this video. And so I hope you enjoyed this one. I am really looking forward to the comments on this one, simply because I feel like this is a car I need to know more about. This is one that we haven't sold too many of, especially compared to the Nissan Skylines or anything else. So do please tell me what you think about this. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, you can check out our website and you can check out our Facebook and all of that stuff. So thanks a lot for watching, and have a nice day.